Hey, this your boy Elder Keith Humes with howtoopenup@halfwayhouse.com. The $1,000,000 question that everybody has is, where do I find a house, or how do you know that this house is zoned for what you want to do? Now, there are zoning codes and zoning laws all over the country, but there are universal codes also. One of the things that you definitely want to know is if this is zoned as an R1, meaning a residential 1, or R2, meaning it's residential 2. So R1 is that the purpose of it is because you want to use it for a single family resident. R2 is a multifamily zoning. So this is a place where it's zoned for that district to provide for medium to high density structures, so that it would actually be able to accommodate duplexes or even apartment complexes. Now, what's important is when you start talking to zoning about your transitional house or your sober living house. One thing I can tell you is that if you don't know the proper language when you're going in front of the board, when you're going in front of zoning, then you're probably going to get turned down. They're going to ask you a lot of different questions. And if you talk about you want to house homeless people and all that good stuff, trust me, it falls in a totally different category, as opposed to if you say you want to house sober living or people that are coming out of a drug treatment program or have a substance use disorder. I'm saying this because you cannot house people if they are all non-family members. If they're family members and it's an R1, meaning a residential 1, then you can have as many family members. You know, you got some family members, they got 20 people in one house. But if they're unrelated, the maximum you can house in most states is going to be 6. There are some cities that will allow you to do 3 maximum. And so you got to be careful. So one of the things that you want to do is, if you're going to do housing, and you probably say, well, all I want to do is ex-offenders. All I want to do is just, women. All I want to do is veterans. If you put in there that the people that you want to house have a substance use disorder, meaning that you're housing people that are coming into your program that have a drug problem, that means you fall up under the American Disabilities Act, meaning you don't necessarily have to even get zoned. Some cities don't even care, okay? But that means that you can house multiple people because you can't discriminate. What does that mean? That means if a person has an addiction, according to the American Disabilities Act, that is considered a disease. It's a disease. So therefore, you cannot discriminate against somebody that's disabled. That's the trick. So when you go there, you got to say the people that you're housing are people that are in recovery or have a drug problem. Therefore, you can bypass the 6 limit. And the other thing is space. Here's the limit. You always want to use this measuring stick. If your room is about a 10 by 12, your bedroom is about 10 by 12, then you can put 2 people in that room. If it's less than that, you're probably going to have problems when they come out to see the place and you got bunk beds all over the place. That's probably going to be a problem. The minimum is about a 10 by 12 for 2 people. Some houses, if it's a single family home, it was a R1, but you have a master bedroom and you want to maximize that space. You definitely, before they come out for zoning and they come out and inspect your home, you do not want to have a crowded looking home, because they are very concerned about space, giving people the dignity to have their own space. Okay, so you don't want to stack that place up just because you want to make money. All right, keep that in mind. And the other thing I want to emphasize is there are different codes. So you got a T2, that's for multifamily. It could be used for multi-use, such as a business, bread and breakfast. It could be used as a boarding home. long as it's a transient kind of environment, you can use that. But you got to keep in mind, you got to know what those codes are. We'll talk about those codes at a later time. But in my training, before you even start looking for a place, I do what I call researching your demographics. So I'm going to give you the codes that you're going to need inside of my coaching. That's what we do. That's a tip. Take it. Look, if you're interested, call me 1-844-472-4233. Join my mastermind training. Go to my YouTube channel, hit subscribe. Also follow me on Facebook. I have a special offer that I'm making walking into the new year. So please hit me up now. I want to make sure that I can get you started on your new journey. And again, this is Elder Keith Films. Thank you so much for your time and your patience.